Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, everyone. So, today we are going to talk about a topic that is often misunderstood and misrepresented and misinterpreted and misused by media, especially that's jihad in Islam. See, many people, both Muslims and non Muslims, have misconceptions about what jihad truly means. So, is it about fighting or is there a deeper meaning to this particular word? So that's exactly what I'm going to explore in this video. I'll make you understand what exactly jihad means. So the word jihad basically comes from the Arabic root jihad, which means to strive, to struggle, so to fight for Allah. So in Islam, jihad is about striving in the way of Allah. So it's not limited to the physical combat or physical attack or anything. In fact, jihad is much broader and it includes different other dimension also, that you need to struggle against one's own weakness. You need to continuously improve upon yourself also. So when we talk about jihad, it have different dimensions like a greater jihad, lesser jihad. So if you see greater jihad or the jihad al-Akbar, this is about becoming a better person, you becoming a better version of yourself, you becoming a better person, and that will improve your character and you follow the path of righteousness. So what's wrong in this? So that's what I told you. It has deeper meaning. It's not limited to physical combat. Again, when we talk about lesser jihad, so the case of greater jihad is struggling against one's own weakness. Lesser jihad or jihad al-Asghar, that is defending justice and protecting the oppressed. So the meaning is deeper. So this include physical struggle, but only under specific conditions. So jihad, when we talk about it, have deeper meaning. There is greater jihad and lesser jihad. Greater jihad is what jihad al-Akbar, and lesser jihad is jihad al-Asghar. So one is struggling against one's own weakness, becoming a better version of yourself, improve your character, follow the righteousness, the good path. The other one is defending justice and protecting the oppressed under specific condition. This include the physical struggle also. So if you look at the spiritual struggle, the greater jihad, see that's the most important one. The Prophet Muhammad, you see, once said, the best jihad is to strive against your own self and desires for the sake of Allah. So you are struggling, against your own weaknesses and other things, and you're trying to improve your character, follow the path of righteousness, for the sake of Allah. So this means that your biggest challenge is within yourself. Our biggest challenge is within ourselves. So it means resisting the temptations, controlling anger, and staying true to our values and ourselves. For when we talk about the examples for this case, the greater jihad, you can say, namas or praying regularly, even when it feels hard. In any situation, you do that for Allah. And again, being patient in difficult times, being, kind to people, right? And helping those who are in need without expecting anything in return. All these are greater jihad. This is also part of jihad. It's not only about violence, it's not about physical struggle, it's not about attack. This is what I told you. When you see the word jihad, this is the most, widely misused word. But no one talking about, jihad means you pray to God, or jihad means being patient, or jihad means being kind to others, or jihad means helping those who are in need. No one talk about these dimensions. People only talk about throwing bombs or attacks and other things. That's the lesser jihad. That's of less significance also, right? And that too under specific conditions. Now, coming to the physical struggle, the lesser jihad. So, see, that's the most controversial aspect of jihad, physical struggle or fighting, quittal, right? So, that's the word that's actually used. So, Islam allows the physical jihad, but it comes with very, very strict rules. So, it must be defensive first. So, for example, Surat al-Baqarah, it says, fight in the way of Allah, those who fight you, but do not transgress. Indeed, Allah does not like transgressors. So, it's defensive in nature. Civilians, women, children, and non-combatants must not be harmed. That's very specific, and I told you there are strict conditions. So there can be physical struggle, but the conditions: civilians should not be harmed, women should not be harmed, children should not be harmed, non-combatants should not be harmed. So the destruction of crops, homes, and places of worship, again, strictly prohibited. So these won't comes under that. So when we talk about jihad, There is a broader meaning, deeper meaning. Even within that, though there is a physical struggle for the survival, for being defensive, but still, all these again strictly mentioned that you cannot attack civilians, not women, neither children, non-combatants. You cannot destroy the crops or the homes or the places of worship, etc. All these are prohibited, strictly prohibited. So it only, in fact, allowed as last resort when peaceful options are failed. So first, what is significance and what is discussed? Be kind to everyone, be patient to everyone, help others. Right, that's the greater part of jihad that you're talking about. Now, what's a misinterpretation? See, unfortunately, some people take verses from Quran out of context to justify violence. So I'll give you an example. If you see Surat al-Tawbah, so there is a verses, fight and slay the disbelievers wherever you find them. So it sounds harsh, right? Fight and slay the disbelievers, non-believers, wherever you find them. Of course, this harsh. It looks harsh. But if we read the verse in the context, so context is important. You cannot simply take that verse and justify what you want to tell. But you see the context. It's about specific tribes who repeatedly broke peace treaties with Muslims. The very next verse, if you see Surah Al-Tawbah 9:6, that says to give protection to anyone seeking peace. So that's why I told you the context is important. You cannot simply take and say that this particular verse, fight and slay the disbelievers or non-believers wherever you find them. That won't give you the actual meaning. For everything, the context is important. Without understanding the context, if you're taking one line from any particular, even a fiction also, that could be interpreted in different ways. So here, the next verse itself will tell you, give protection to anyone seeking peace. So this shows that the Quran, the message which is given by Quran is balanced, and it allows self-defense first, but also encourage mercy and forgiveness. First mercy, then forgiveness, then be kind to others, be patient to others, help others. This is the main teaching. Last resort is what you're talking about, physical struggle, even with conditions, strict rules and conditions. Now, if you look at the historical examples, let's look at how Prophet Muhammad applied jihad in his life. Peace be upon him anyway. So see the Battle of Badr and Uhud, if you see, these battles were fought only to defend the Muslim community when they were under attack. So that again tell you that it's defensive. So Prophet Muhammad, how he used jihad again for defense, right? And the Treaty of Hudaybiyyah. So when the Prophet had a chance to choose peace, he signed a treaty with his opponents also, even though the terms seemed unfair and a kind of humiliation and other things. But it's unfair still. You see peace there and you sign the treaty, though it's unfair. And if you look at the conquest of Makkah, despite years of this persecution, when the Prophet entered Makkah, he forgive his enemies and did not force anyone to convert to Islam. So this is how Prophet Muhammad used jihad. So that's how, if you are following Prophet Muhammad, then this is what the examples that you need to take, and this is the way you need to understand and interpret jihad. Now, if you look at the contemporary context, jihad versus terrorism, let's be very clear. Jihad is not the same as terrorism. Terrorism is entirely different. Terrorism is not only in Islam. You cannot only relate it with Islam, or you cannot only use the term jihad to explain terrorism. In fact, Islam prohibits the killing of innocent people. Surat al-Maida, it says, whoever kills a soul, it is as if he has killed all mankind. And whoever saves one, it is as if he has saved all mankind. So look at what Quran says. Quran is not, completely against, killing. So terrorists misuse the concept of jihad, justify their actions, but their behavior, in fact, goes against Islamic teachings. So terrorism is totally against Islam. You can never connect it with Islam. You can never justify any terrorist activity with the definition of jihad. Also, you need to understand terrorism is something which is broad. It's not only connected with Islam. It's a it's a threat to the nations also. So it's across a religion. It's there. Okay, so and if you look at jihad in modern times, jihad is not about physical struggle. As I told you, in today's world, we can talk about fighting poverty by supporting charities. That's jihad. We discuss the greater jihad. So when poor people around you. They don't have access to food. They don't have access even to water. So supporting them, giving charity, that's also jihad. You're helping others, be kind to others, promoting education and literacy in the modern world. You can connect it with jihad. You are supporting the mankind. You are doing something good. So that's again jihad only, standing up for justice, for human rights. This is also jihad. Protecting the environment. That's again jihad. So all these, this is how you need to interpret jihad in modern context, rather than you connect everything with terrorism. No, you really understand what is jihad, what is greater jihad, what is lesser jihad, what Allah has talked, Allah's real message. For example, striving to provide education for underprivileged children, that can be considered as a form of jihad, because you are, changing the future. You are educating this underprivileged children. You are giving something to them. You're fighting for them. You are making them equipped. You are taking them out of poverty. That is good for mankind. So that is also considered as jihad. It's not only about throwing bombs, or it's not only about creating violence and justifying that, Allah is allowing for physical struggle. No, that's the last resort. There also with proper restrictions and rules, and only for being defensive. That's not for attacking. So again, if you look at Prophet's teaching on jihad, as I told you, examples from his own life, if you look at the teaching, he taught that the best form of jihad is peaceful and constructive. It has to be peaceful and it has to be constructive. The best jihad is a word of truth in the face of tyrannical ruler. The most excellent jihad is to perform Hajj that is accepted by Allah. So these are what Prophet Muhammad is talking about jihad. So the key takeaway, if you see, jihad means striving for good in every aspect of life. It's not just fighting. The Quran and Hadith that promote peace, it's not terrorism or violence, that promote justice, that promote fairness and mercy as the core values of Islam. So what's the core values of Islam? It's not about jihad or terrorism or anything, as it is misinterpreted and misunderstood and misused by media mostly. But basic values of Quran or Islam is basically peace, justice, mercy, forgiveness, fairness. That's what. Physical jihad is the last resort. The lesser jihad, that's the last resort. Again, it should be for defensive and with strict ethical guidelines, strict rules, as I discussed. Spiritual jihad, the greater jihad, that's the greater struggle that every Muslims face daily and have to face daily. They will have to make improvement upon themselves. Be a better version of yourself. Change your character to a good person. Change your path to righteousness. So, guys, everyone, I want to tell you this. Let's remember that jihad is a noble concept when you understand it correctly. That was my intention when I did this video, to make you understand what exactly jihad. If you at least understood what is greater jihad, then now onwards you will never talk about jihad in the context of terrorism or in the context of any violence. That's the last resort according to Islam. If you know the true meaning, if you are still want to act as a fool because of this media propaganda and other things, that's your choice. So it's about improving ourselves. That's what all about jihad. It's about helping others. It's about being kind to others. It's about being merciful to others for the mankind. I told you, it's about you help in removing poverty, that's jihad. You help in educating, that's jihad. You help in a widow, that's jihad. You help the people who don't have money to buy medicines, that's also jihad. So defending what is right for the justice, that's jihad. So let's try to follow the true teachings of Islam and Allah and Prophet Muhammad and clear up all these misconceptions which is surrounding jihad. So I hope this video helped you to get some clarity about what I wanted to convey. So that's about this session. Thank you so much. May Allah guide us all to the straight path. See you in the next.